Welcome to Silver Heist. Thank you to our returning subscribers and guests. Today I want to talk to you about savings, how it used to work, how it's working today, how negative interest rates are such a bad idea, and how those negative interest rates may result in more people stacking or hoarding gold. So like Chris Farley, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't speak the language or understand the theory or even have exact historical numbers. So please do your own research. What I will share is some concepts and ways to think about things. My experience with savings started in the 4th or 5th grade when a classroom trip went on a tour of the bank, and each child got a passbook savings account book, and each week the teacher took a envelope with your passbook savings account and your allowance money, and they would put it in a cigar box, and someone from the bank would pick up 10 or 20 passbook savings, and at the end of the day you would get your deposit logged in your passbook account. So we became savers at a young age. So the first benefit to banks are security. Banks were at the town green next to the church, and they were made out of big solid brick or granite with big pillars, and there was a big vault behind the counter, and so you could see your money was safe and secure. So the first promise of a bank is to keep your money safe from being taken in a robbery if you kept it at home, and safe from being lost in a fire. So that's the first promise of banking. So even as a teenager earning $3.35 at a minimum wage job, I could save money in a bank and then come back a year later and there'd be more money there. So how did they do that? What they did is took my money and loaned it out to somebody, and that somebody promised to pay them back with interest. That person paid them back with interest, and at any point I would get interest. I could take my money back and the bank would still have money. So that was then. I don't have a problem with interest. You just want to be on the right side of the equation. There's a time for debt and there's a time for savings. As long as you're being cut in on the deal, then there's rewards for being a saver. But these days you put money in the bank, they loan it out to somebody, that person pays it back with some interest, but you're lucky to see a little bit come back to you, or possibly even less. So you get your $100 back and a tiny premium. So the idea of savings is to put money aside in the hopes of getting that money back and then some. But that has been reduced to almost nothing. So rates have gone from where they were to very low. But what happens when rates go negative? How does that even work? And who benefits from such a thing? So negative interest rates could possibly be the dumbest idea created by smart people. And I would say that negative interest rates will shred the social fabric. So as if low interest rates weren't enough to shred the social fabric of retirees or little old ladies who just want a simple return for being frugal for their lives and wanting their money to last and grow a little bit into old age. look at how negative interest rates would work. You give a bank $100, and then you come looking for your money, and they give you 90 back. So how is it that you put $100 on the table, and when you come back, there's only 90? Or 95? Whatever the scheme is going to be, it's not 100. So that is just crazy. And that makes no sense at all. And I don't see how people are going to stand for it. So who benefits from such low interest, negative interest, or people or groups who owe a lot of money? So debtors. And the biggest debtor of them all, unfortunately, is our own government. It's a benefit to just keep financing debt. So you have debt. You borrowed $100 from someone. You borrow another 100, and you borrow another 100. Well, the first group of people, you actually have to pay them back money plus interest. And then the second group, they need money plus interest. But this group, heck, you can just pay them back with less, with negative. And so if you can, and to make it even worse, what if you actually accept money from this group and then use that to pay off that group, and then all you have to do is pay that new group back with less money? So if you owe a lot of money, then negative interest rates could be a good thing for you. But what about everybody else? What about savers? So if banks are going to take your 100 and give you back less in return, then that's a losing proposition, because the proposition before was that you would get money back and something else so that you could keep up with inflation or stay close to inflation. So you save money now in the hopes of maintaining your purchasing power or having a little bit more purchasing power in the future. But if you're going to get less, if you're not even going to maintain, and all you're paying for is the security of keeping the money in the vault, well then heck, why give them money in the first place? Why not take your money and just buy gold? And you can keep that safe someplace. If you want to pay rent, if you want to lose money at the bank, why not pay them rent for a safety deposit box and put your gold there? Negative interest rates make 0 sense, and it is a disincentive for saving, and all it does is create spenders, because there's more incentive to spend your money today than to save it for any kind of future. So all it does is create spenders, it punishes savers, it encourages debtors, and your only defense is just to buy something else, is to separate yourself from the banking system in some limited way. Not cut the cord and live off the grid, but have some kind of alternative plan, and gold will maintain its value in the future. It may go up in price, but it may not give you more spending power. So if you have money, if you bought gold for a certain amount of money, and in the future someone's willing to give you more money for that gold, you may actually just be buying the same amount of goods 3 years later for that same value of gold. So all you've done is maintain your purchasing power. But that's better than losing purchasing power. And if there's such a backlash to negative interest rates, then people who believe in personal responsibility will be flocking to gold. And that increase competition for something of true value could drive up the price. So that would be the upside to it, is that people who believe in personal responsibility will be competing with you for that true value. So that's where we're going, folks. So you can either take some personal responsibility, take some initiative, and take some action today, or watch things just slowly unravel until it's a little bit too late. So everyone needs money. That's why they call it money.